Hello.
I can hear it now. It's slightly and it fades off quickly though.
Is that going to be a problem? Because I can, uh,
I mean, I can pull it off. It'll just get off like 5%.
I honestly don't know how to fix that. I really don't. I've tried everything that Voicemeeter gives me. Um, like I don't know how to fix that fade off. First,
Interesting.
let's and yeah.
Well, I wouldn't sweat it, honestly. See, I suppose you want me to tweet it? Or can you throw it on Twitter and then I will retweet it? Or do you want me to get on Casual Master Quest?
We'll do it through CMQ. I can.
Oh, it
Oh, there it
says
is.
yeah, it popped up already.
Okay, well, retweet.
All right. All right, social media all sent out. Looks good. Oh Jesus. That link has definitely reached some people. Awesome. My
Nice.
only regret is I really wish I could have done that karaoke, man. Just letting you know. Right now, Snow and I have unofficially agreed to do Just Give Me a Reason by Pink.
Just give me a reason. Just a little bit's enough.
Just 2 seconds, we're not broken, just spent, and we can
And we
learn
can
to
learn
love
to love
again.
again.
It's in the stars. It's been written in the scars of our hearts that we're not broken, just spent, and we can
We
learn
can
to
learn
love
to love
again.
again.
I'm
Nice.
sorry, I don't understand where all of this is coming from. I thought that we were fine. Your head is running wild again, Nick. We still have everything, and it's all in your mind.
All right, phone's away. I'm good to go.
Okay, I am gonna
Yeah.
get things fired up and get moving then.
Yep.
I figured we can scare away the people who hate singing. We needed the tough ones. Wait, I'm fucking hosting this, ain't I? Because you hosted last time. This will be fun. My disappointment, Nick, when I wanted to get root beer, but they didn't have it at my favorite place. It was heartbreaking.
Get fucked, idiot.
Actually, I feel like Elon Musk, like holding it like this. Man, this squeeze pretty good. I also need to make sure that this episode I normalize it properly because it was kind of wonky in the last up. I was not too happy with how my big concern is me being too loud. But oh well. Okay. Okay.
Okay, you're never too loud for me, Tyler.
Oh boy. I'm a big man for you.
Oh, let me close my door. You.
Hello, Derp. How's it going, buddy, old pal? Getting ready to start the show. We're just dicking around for a hot second. Making sure audio isn't blowing up and murdering everybody.
All right.
God damn, Nick. I was just talking about how I wanted to make sure the audio wouldn't murder people. Jesus.
Did they die though?
Stress vape.
Oh, good backstretch. I am officially limbered up.
I am neck bearding it hard. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Where's your fedora?
I left it with my lady. All right, Derp has given us the gold star standard for our audio. We sound okay. Let's fucking do this. Honestly, we really wanted to.
Fucking time that took like 30 minutes to solve.
30 minutes? You think it was okay? I thought it was longer. All right, then. I don't know why I keep trying to put that pre-show in. Get the fucking out of here. All right, you got your show notes ready?
Yes, sir.
Okie doke. Oh wow, I forgot we're doing a podcast. I haven't started one in a while. Ooh, I'd have had a lot on my mind.
Tyler, this is episode 35. We've done this 35 times at least.
Look at these balls. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Casual Master Quest. This is episode 35, and this is your sweet, sweet voiced host, Tyler Vidito. But more importantly, over on this end, look at that. That beautiful piece of melting chocolate, just cream to the ears. That's my voice. But over there is Nick. How's it going, Nick? Buddy, old pal of mine.
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah, you? What's going
Hi.
on?
What's up? What's up, friends, pals, listeners, people? You know, furries. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever.
Shout out to
Whatever,
the furries.
We're all inclusive. It's 2019.
Nick, are you the kind? What do you think would be more interesting, being a furry or being a scaly?
You know, I don't discriminate. I think you can be whatever you want to be.
Absolutely. I was just curious of what you thought was more exotic. If you had a beautiful catfolk lady come up to you, right, or a beautiful Argonian maid from Heaven,
cat. Yeah, cat.
You'll take warm-blooded over cold-blooded?
Yep.
Oof. Oh no. Shout out to Derp who's in the chat. Apparently he was the winner of last week's Pixelmon tournament. Congratulations, Derp. So, holy crap, it's been a week. It is January 12th. Technically. Actually, no, I mean, it's not. Wait, why do I have it? I have it set to Sunday the 12th.
Yeah, this is strange. Come on, Tyler.
I should have 2020 at 5 p.m. GMT, which is a time zone neither of us use, just to keep everybody on the guard.
Monday, I think that's when these things come out usually.
Yes. By all means, sure. It is. It is, in fact, Monday the 14th, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That weird time zone difference, man. It's just because we're on the other side of the world. So, Nick, how's school been going on your body?
Pretty good. Did I talk about the game design course I was in last week?
Yes, you mentioned it before. Has there been any wild developments or interesting ones?
So we had to take a lot of my classes are comprised of like a 2-hour lecture and then a 2-hour lab or a workshop. We're doing the workshop last week, or at least for the first class, we had to bring in a game. Everybody had to bring in a game. We formed groups and then we play the game, teach each other that, pick a game, and then form like a house rule for that game, like our own rule that would fit in well and not, essentially break the game or like that is not out of place. And so we had a game called Spot It, where everybody gets like circular cards with symbols, and you have to hand off a card based on a symbol that matches. Very simple. It's fun. It's chaotic. And then I can't even remember what our fucking rule was. But anyways, this past week, the workshop, we had to swap games with different groups. So like we'd go and teach them the game along with our rule, and they teach us their game along with their rule. And so I played, and I didn't know this existed, Monopoly Deal, which is a card-based version of Monopoly.
Really? I've not heard of that either.
Honestly, it was a lot of fun. Just think of Yu-Gi-Oh! But Monopoly.
Oh, okay.
I've
activated my bank card.
No, pretty much. So you'll have 5 cards or 7 cards or whatever. Then it goes around and you take turns. If you have a property card, you put it down, and that becomes your. How do I say this? All right. So the winning condition is you have to have 3 full sets of properties.
Okay, it's just weird because I imagine when somebody loses, it's like I banish you to the bankrupt realm. No.
Well, so you have money cards that you can place in your bank. And so there are like action cards that force you to pay money to other players, or so you can either pay it in whatever money you have in your bank, or you have to pay in property. And so if you have, when somebody takes anything away and you don't have anything left on your side, you don't lose, but you can't do anything. And so it just becomes harder to come back from that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. So is there any kind of rubber banding mechanic that is offered to, or is it just pure strategy? And if they're going to win, it's clear they're going to win.
Luck of the draw as well, depending on what kind of cards you have, because you start off with 5 cards. At the start of your turn, you draw 2 cards, and you have to have a maximum of um, 7 cards at the end of your round. And you can do a maximum of 3 things each turn. 3 actions. So you can only play a maximum of 3 cards, or like changing card positions or whatever, because you have some property cards that are wild cards where they can either be of any color or they're of dual colors, so you can flip them around accordingly, and that'll count as an action. It was pretty interesting. That's literally all we did for like an hour and a half.
I mean, you say for an hour and a half, and that's all you did, but that sounds like a lot of fun, man.
Sounds like a lot of fun, but and it's I'm not gonna say that I'm paying $2,000 just to sit in class and play card games. We had prompts from our TA constantly like, all right, you stop, think about what made that fun, why are you enjoying doing what you're doing, how could you make this better, why is it not fun if it wasn't fun, and asking us to take notes and watch when we teach, when we taught the one group our game, just keep an eye on, like, observe them, keep an eye on like how they interpret your rules, how easy it was for them to understand your rules, stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this class. The rest of the classes are going all right. We'll wait and see.
It sounds sick, man. It sounds sick.
Yeah. I found out actually one of my classes. So I'm gonna go into like real life stuff here for a little minute. Like full on real life stuff, career stuff mainly. I'm taking a project management course. And basically we formed our groups already, and we have to execute a project in the next 2 months. That can be anything from a campaign, from a video, from a rally, a fun run, whatever, with the umbrella theme of Green Vancouver. So something environmentally minded, sustainable and living, stuff like that. And so there is an international institute known as the PMI, the Project Management Institute, internationally accredited institute that recognizes project management certifications. And one of the certifications that they offer, I think one of the more basic ones, but still a very valid certificate in the industry, is called the CAPM, the CAPM. And there are a few ways to qualify to take that certification. One of them is to either have 1,500 hours of project management experience, or 23 hours of project management education. This is a 3-hour class weekly for 13 weeks. So that's roughly 36 hours. If we hit all of our classes, I meet the qualifications to take that certification, and I probably will. It's $200 something dollars to take the examination. But if I do well and if I pass, I get a certification that enhances things for me when I start applying for jobs.
First off, that's awesome. Also, that's 200 Canadian dollars, so that's like $5 for us, right?
No, it's 200 US.
Oof. Yeah. Oh gosh, so that means like 500,000 in Canadian. Jesus.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well,
that's rough, man.
Things you have to do to further your career, but yeah. And I'm kind of sick.
Yeah, I was trying to lay down my segue, saying, "Oh, that's sick, Nick," but you didn't pick up what I lay down here. What's going on, man? You're breaking my heart here. What's going on?
I'm just gonna talk about my thing. I'm gonna ignore you. So about 2.5 weeks ago, I think, I started having like developing a little bit of a sore throat, but I wasn't really feeling like my nose wasn't blocked, wasn't running. I wasn't feeling sick. There was no cough. There was like no body pains.
Like scratchiness, or
yeah, just like it was just there. And I'm like, but when I first felt it, I'm like, shit, I'm falling sick. And so my general strategy is to like, hit
rubbing alcohol.
No, not the rubbing. Not
with honey and lemon juice.
Yes, honey and lemon juice. Did I? What was I talking to that about? Anyways, I started doing that, slamming the tea hard, and then it went away. But then it moved to my tonsils, and then one side of my tonsil started to swell. This was earlier last week, and I'm like, fuck, this could be like I can't I can't deal with another surgery. Like, I don't want to deal with the surgery right now if it gets bad. So I went into the doctor. They're like, oh, if you actually came in when your throat was sore, we might have done a swab and actually given you antibiotics, but it seems like you're at the tail end of the infection, and this is like normal inflammation, like your immune system is working, and this is the remnants of the bacterial infection or whatever. And she's like, you're fine. I'm like, all right, tight, cool.
So did they figure out what it was? Because it sounds like you're describing strep throat.
Probably. She said it was probably strep, but I beat it just by being me. Yeah.
Oh.
So she's like, oh, you're fine.
So fun fact, and this is going to come with the story. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this tangent.
So there was a point in time where I was over the road as a truck driver, and I started to get hit with strep throat. It was very rough. I didn't think of anything at first. My throat hurt a little bit, headache, was coughing, phlegm, and all that stuff. Thought I had the flu or bronchitis or something, but I was still going to drive because I could still drive. Yeah. Eventually, my throat started, swelling as you described. I'm like, oh, shit, this is strep throat. That is not good. So Tyler doesn't have any health insurance, and he's also hundreds of miles away from his home, and he has no idea where the nearest doctor's office that's probably going to cost him, $100 to $200 just to walk in to say, hey, you got strep throat. Here's this item that is free at your local pharmacy, but you still got to, pay us money. So I'm like, okay, the main way that you take care of strep throat is amoxicillin, which is a form of penicillin. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's completely free if you can get it prescribed over at a lot of places, but you obviously need a doctor's note in the States to get that. So if I can't afford that, I was like, man, I wonder if there's a way that I can get penicillin alternatively. As it turns out, there is, Nick.
Of course there is.
So, mind you, and this gets better and better. I'm looking at this. I'm backed into a Walmart dock, waiting, unloading and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, you can get penicillin if, farmers buy it to administer it to their cows about once every 6 months. And so I just need to find a place that sells it. I Google it, and I shit you not, about 200 feet away, there was a farm supply outlet. Right. I called them. Sure as shit, they have a liter of fucking penicillin. And so I buy this giant ass jug. Now, mind you, the amount that you'll have overall, like the help yourself not get sick, over the course of 2 weeks is about maybe 2 tablespoons. Yeah. So, a very small amount. So having a fucking liter of this shit it screams danger first off. Oh. And so I didn't know that until afterwards. I would like to betray that one. So my throat sealing up, I take an eyedropper that I bought, fill it up. And so I gave myself, well, I would say about 5 to 6 times the dose I should have for my strep throat here. And I just put it like a little drip right on the tongue. And I learned something about penicillin. Penicillin, if it's not taken like in a way that shields it from your tongue or your throat or your gut, it will trigger nausea immediately, like instant nausea. I did this doing about 65 on the highway. Nice. So strep throat, having trouble breathing, do this, and all of a sudden I'm like hurling, fucking driving down the highway. I had to pull myself over the shoulder. I'm like, no, I won't be doing that again. And then I got better for a day, but then I refused to touch it, so it got worse and it came back again. And then I went to see a doctor and I got the appropriate dose. And so I got better. So just a heads up, guys. If you ever want to take penicillin off the over the counter, you could totally do it by doing it from a farm supply outlet such as Farm and Field, or you know the places I'm talking about. However, make sure to take the appropriate amount. Just take I'd say about maybe 2-3 drops. Don't take a full tablespoon every single time, because that's over 10 times the recommended dosage, and it might kill you, because I didn't know that. Oh well. Anyways, Nick,
and don't ingest it orally, at least.
Oh jeez. Yeah. I was thinking about putting it on bread or something, and then no. But then I'm gonna look at that bread, and that bread looks like it's moldy, which technically it would be at that point because it's fucking penicillin, and right. That penicillin comes from it can grow in bread. Over in my end, I've been busy with work. Work has been it's been a fucking nightmare for me, man. It's been rough. I'm not too happy with the things that are happening right now. But right now, I'm at the head and trying to figure out what's going to happen here. I need to talk with a lot of people because I feel like things could happen for the worse on my end. I don't want to talk about it right now just because it's developing, but I've just been really stressed out with work. And it's been causing me a lot of sleep. But something else has been causing me to lose a lot of sleep is my position over at Pixel Spark.
Oh, pray tell. What do you mean?
I know, right? Now, mind you, I sent this so anybody on Pixel Spark can look and listen to this. I'm not going to go into the wild details, but I realized I was starting to get burnt out, and I was starting to disagree more and more with a lot of things that were happening over on the server side. And one thing just led to another. I kept getting grumpy old man over it. I'm like, you know what? This is the way it's going to go. I respect this. I'm going to call it. I'm going to leave. And so I do that, and they're like, no, motherfucker. We're going to work with you. I'm like, no, guys, it's okay. And it's like, no, we like you. You raised the age by about 2 years by average. Let's let's work something out here. And fucking worked it out. Now I'm a mod.
Yay.
Yeah, I say yay. It's just, it feels dirty because you can imagine how hard a lot of our people, the first level status is helper, and then you go up to a mod, then super mod, admin, and all that stuff. But you can imagine the amount of work somebody has to become a helper just in staff, just show the dedication, and then even more so to become a mod. And then they explained to me that they're going to give it to me previously, but they rushed it because they knew I wanted out. And it's like, that doesn't seem fair. It's like, I quit. No, we'll promote you. Okay, I'll stay. It's like, no. And yeah, I felt bad about it. And unfortunately, I think I did trigger a little bit of bitterness with some people. But the nice thing is now, for the people that I know that have been doing well as a helper, I have now an official say to get them up. And so this helps me help them at the same time. So I'm hoping that works out in everybody's favor, but we'll see.
Be the change you want to see.
Yes, there's so much that I want to help either change or improve that, trying to do it by myself on a server, it doesn't really do as much. But if you're a part of the system, man, then you can start working, the change from the inside. And a lot of things are happening. A lot of people are ambitious. I'm ambitious. I just want to have fun, and I want to have fun in more different ways. And I'm just concerned because I know if I get too ambitious, then people are like, Tyler's trying to take over the server. What is he doing? He's trying to, group us together and make us into a socialist state. And it's like, no, please. I'm not trying to make for the workers' people or anything like that.
And to think all of this started with you just wanting to build a giant death cube in the sky.
It started with that. And then there was a point, and I remembered this a couple of days ago, and I got a kick out of this. There was an item called the Suspicious Satchel that when you hold it would make you ungodly this. Sonic fast. And they took it away from me because originally it was kind of like, maybe only staff should have this. So like, maybe no one should have this because it feels like, it's a hacked item. And I was like, if I get staff, can I get that back? And they're like, maybe. So I went for fucking staff. I said, fuck this shit. I want my Suspicious Satchel. Come on. And I think as soon as I got helper, I completely forgot about it. Like hell, even being a moderator is on a different level as a helper because now I participate in handling events. Like I got 2 events every week that I get to do to help generate player interactivity.
Right.
And I really love that. Like being able to have players have fun. And now that it's not on my coin, I can do it through the server and get rewards to the server. That's fucking great. I'll take that. Right. Yeah, it's like honestly, if I could pay $5 every single day and just get a couple of keys to give to them, I would in a heartbeat. But I'm doing that technically already now because I'm doing it officially on the server. So it's awesome. I hope I do good, and cheers to all that. But that sounded like a video game, Nick. That sounded
like a video game. Aren't we a video game podcast? Isn't that what we do?
Video game podcast? I have no fucking idea. But I don't want to I started the show with, speaking the dirty tongue of that game. Wash my mouth out, Nick. What do you got going on at your end, man? What have you been playing this week?
Well, I have 2 new games in my rotation. Well, one
Destiny
new game
2?
in rotation, and no.
It just came out last week, man. Why haven't you played it yet?
One new game in rotation, and then one new game I just picked up over the weekend. So I did play some Destiny 2, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Destiny 2 in a little bit.
Yeah, with this new publisher.
Yeah. Octopath is my go-to right now.
Woo! I'm so happy you got Octopath, man. How is it?
It's so good. It's such a beautiful game, and it's so interesting in how it works. It's I love it. I remember the days when shortly after release, and Cam would talk about it for the few weeks, and you just sink all of his time into it. And I didn't understand what he was saying then, and now some of it is slowly coming back to me, and I understand what he was talking about. And
I know, right? It happened with me in Persona 4. It's just once you get sometimes I'm not sure if it's like this with Octopath, but with JRPGs with me, sometimes it feels like a slow burn. But there's just that one point where you're trying to get into the groove, and you do, and all of a sudden you're just like full on in, hook like in the sinker. You're like, I can invest 10 hours into this today. Let's fucking do this. Let's start grinding and leveling up.
So with the nice thing about Octopath is that you can download the demo from the Nintendo Store for free, and you can play up to 3 hours, and you can just transfer over your save file whenever.
It's like a percent of the game, right?
Probably just a fraction of the game. Yeah. I put, I think, about an hour and a half into the demo, and then never touched it again.
Everything's a fraction when you break it down.
Shut up, Tyler. Put about an hour and a half into the demo, and then I never touched it again. Finally got the game, and now I'm up to about 9 hours in about a week.
Nice.
Just, balancing school and stuff. I will say this: handheld mode is the ideal way to play, but on the TV in docked mode, it is. I cannot appreciate this art style enough. I believe the official term for this art style is 2D HD, where you have it is an 8-bit 2D game, but it is in high definition, and that high definition adds a third dimension and light physics. And
it's pixelated, but it's set in a way that there's no way in hell it would play fine on a SNES emulator.
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think about when I can play the game next.
Waluigi over here, jeez.
Yeah, I went from having like the one character to picking up a second character, the demo, and then now I'm up to 6, and I don't know how that happened. Like honestly, I just blinked and now I'm up to 6. Like it just all happened so fast, and it is a grindy game, and I enjoy it. Yep.
So this is interesting to me because I keep hearing a lot of concerned talk about it, and I would like your input.
Okay.
So is it true that it feels like a lot of the party have no actual reason of being together, just besides the fact that they just happen to be there at the same time? They just said, fuck it, let's keep going together?
That's what it feels like. I think there are
interaction between the players. Or the characters.
Not really.
That's so weird. I mean, it makes sense because if you have one and not the other, are they gonna type the coding in for every single one? But so every time there's a story-based mission for a character, is it usually just that character in that mission that it's designed for that's talking all the time with all the people, or?
Yeah. So the cutscenes are just that character, but then you do everything with the whole party.
It's like, I got you alone now, and then 2-3 people appear behind him when the fights start. We've been here all the time. We're silently supporting you.
Well, as far as I understand it, the story does culminate at one point. Like all of these different paths do cross, like they all lead to the same end, to the same, as far as I know, boss fight.
Yes,
but it's just different individual stories. Some of the stories happen in the same place. Like the second chapter of each story happens in similar areas. Yeah, I like some of the story. Honestly, some of the story is a little bit cheesy. Some of the English voice acting is it's like it's a high quality dub. It's a little bit cheesy and a little bit kind of predictable, but it's
Is
not
it like
terrible.
Breath of the Wild cheesy or?
No, it's better than that.
Okay, okay.
No, it's better than that. Yeah.
Also, I'm curious and kind of concerned because did you just fucking buy Octopath Traveler over Zelda?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. I see. Okay. Tyler will remember that.
No, I'll finish Breath of the Wild one day.
Well, yeah. Okay. 2020. Here we go.
It'll be okay. I'll say this. It'll be the next game that I buy before the Pokemon RPG this year.
You know, I have a hunch that Pokemon RPG is not coming out this year. I'm just saying that right now. Okay.
It's gonna come out this year.
Okay. Let's remember this. Episode number 35. Nick thinks that in 2019.
Because they said it's coming out this year.
Yeah, but I don't fucking believe him for a goddamn second.
No, I believe them. They've not been wrong about release dates.
They have also been saying that they are making Metroid Prime 4, and I haven't seen that trailer yet. It's been a couple of E3s.
That's Nintendo. We're talking about Game Freak.
Oh, I'm sorry. Game Freak, who is currently working on a completely new IP right now, if you remember, is going to be making a new Pokemon game. Oh, they'll be okay.
That'll be fine.
Okay, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick. Yeah.
We'll find out. If we have no news by May, I will concede that it's not coming out this year.
Really? So what makes May the cutoff point?
It's usually around like May, June, like the Nintendo Direct comes out with something. And then we usually get leaks around that time as well from CoroCoro. So
I'm gonna say late February, early March, we will get a Nintendo Direct, and that's where the Pokemon game is going to be revealed. Otherwise, it's not going to be shown at all, or I'm sorry, it's not going to be shown a much later in the year, and then it'll get released in 2020. I just feel like that's usually optimal jump because I could be mistaken. I feel like Pokemon is usually a summer title, so honestly,
no, the last few ones have released in October, November.
Okay, so fall time. My bad. So
since X and Y, they've released worldwide the same day.
I'm still gonna stick to my first idea that next month or March is when they're gonna throw that direct out, and when they do, it's either gonna be Pokemon for this year, or Nick's gonna be a really sad puppy because all he has is let's go Eevee. Let's go Eevee, man.
This is what I wanted the Switch for, and if it doesn't come out this year, I will be upset. But anyways, I played another game.
Yes, you did.
A game called Deceit.
Is it tricky? Did it fool you?
It can be tricky. It fooled me plenty of times. So I went out this past weekend. Went out for tacos and beer with my roommate and a friend. Came home, had a nice buzz going. Came home, had a nice buzz going, and then got a message on Discord, come play Deceit. It's free to play. And I'm like, free? That's all you had to tell me. So I set it to download, went and got 2 more beers. I was nice and loaded up by the time I got into the game. So the game works like it's like very similar to Dead by Daylight, where you have a group of people that are being hunted, except it goes in phases. So the difference here being you have 6 people, and 2 of them are infected at random. Ooh. And every like 60 seconds, 70 seconds, the lights go off, and that's when the infected can transform and attack. The infected can be shot, but they will respawn. And the only way they get enough power is power to transform is they have to drink blood bags, but everybody can hear you drink a blood bag. And if you get seen, you can be shot and you can be voted out. But even if they vote out all the infected, they still have to get through the 3 stages and get to the exit.
This sounds like a cooler version of Town of Salem.
It's a more mobile version, more it can potentially scarier version of Town of Salem. But I was playing with 6, like a full 6 of us, and we're friends, so it wasn't as scary as I was thankful for. Because it can get pretty spooky, and you have different things. You have like antidotes that can pick up somebody after they've been attacked by the infected, shotguns. You can have scanners that'll scan people to tell you whether they're infected or not, but it's a single-use thing. You can put a tracker on somebody, and that's a single-use thing. You can pick up a shotgun. It's interesting. It's fun. I honestly enjoyed myself. I think I put about 4 hours since I got it.
How many people were playing with you?
So it was 6 of us. Full. We had full 6, yeah. Nice.
Now you got me curious. But yeah,
it's free to play and it's 9 gigabytes. So I honestly don't see what the harm is in that.
So, do you know what game is not free to play and is a little bit bigger than 9 gigabytes?
Are we talking about a pirate game?
Yar.
Yar?
I mean, yes. God damn.
I still haven't
I'm
opened
sorry.
it up, but I can't wait to get back into it. I've been getting back into the flow of school, but
Nick.
I'm waiting to sail the high seas and just fucking dick on people.
When are we gonna play, man? We need to make it happen soon. But yes, I've been playing Sea of Thieves. Had a couple issues last time when I talked about it, like weird visual glitches, the game crashing. I had looked it up, and apparently this was actually a very common thing where sometimes if the download doesn't want to work properly, you got to go through a bunch of different methods, like cleaning out old system files for the game.
Oh, sounds tedious.
Resetting everything for the Microsoft Windows Store, just deleting files, hunting down files, downloading this one as an administrator kind of stuff. But I did it all. Everything went smoothly, and I'm now able to play it without any incident, as far as I'm aware so far. And I'm not sure what happened specifically last time. I think last time was when Brandon and I did a couple of forts together, and we made a shit ton of money. Like a lot of money. Ooh. And wow, I'm starting to notice that Sea of Thieves is starting to make a comeback. It's kind of weird with people like Summon and whatnot bumping on and Rar's like, yeah guys, Sea of Thieves is good again. Ignore all those other pirate games that just came out. I'm like,
well, Sea of Thieves was never bad. The issue purely was a lack of things to do in the game, because when progression means nothing except for a title that you can't earn, it's hard to be invested in a game like that.
Now, with some of the free DLC that came out, like I think it's called the Hungering Deeps or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to take an interest in that because I'm starting to see people with really cool shit. And it's like, oh, this guy has a glowing belt buckle. I kind of want that. And it's like, the fuck do I need to do to get that? And so now I'm starting to eyeball shit like that. I'm hoping maybe I can convince Brandon or yourself to hop on sometime this weekend. We can play a little bit and see what happens. But that's been my fun for Sea of Thieves. But for some reason this week has been a real mobile game week for me.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
So I want to talk about my last game here first, just to get out of the way. I'm a big fan of a game called Puyo Puyo. I like my Kirby's Avalanche, Dr. Robotnik's and Mean Bean Machine, Puyo Puyo Tetris, which came out recently for the Switch. However, Puyo Puyo is a owned title. I don't know who specifically owns it. I feel like Sega at this point. Let me double check. But the point is, I technically cannot get it on mobile under normal circumstances. Puyo Puyo is a licensed title. Let's see it. A lot of developers.
Sonic Team currently.
Okay, so it's owned by the Sonic Team. So Sega. Let's be real. Yeah, which makes sense because in the beginning of Puyo Puyo Tetris, it has one of the characters going Sega at random. So that was awesome. I like it. I thought it was cool. So if I can't play Puyo Puyo on the phone, what are my options? Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are interested in playing some Puyo Puyo on the go, and I've gotten a viable option, I'm introducing to you the Chinese knockoff Paya Paya. So P-A-Y-A is an interesting game. Paya Paya is in fact Puyo Puyo. The only drawback is not that much actually. It's hella Puyo. And so you get to play against computers. You can play against other players if you wanted to. It's completely free. So Nick, if we were to download on our phone right now, we could totally play Paya Paya together. And which is, Paya Paya is the true form of Puyo Puyo, if you didn't know. It's in some countries it's considered the more feminine form. Puyo Puyo being more masculine. But I'm okay with a little Paya Paya. It's a fun game. Had some fun with it. And so I'm just letting people know if they want to play Puyo Puyo on the go, Paya Paya it's hella Puyo.
Is the icon like 4 little colored squares?
I do believe so. Here, I mean, I think there's really only one Paya Paya, but
I don't know, like Android, like I don't
Paya
know.
Paya, it It has an icon of 4 different blocks: green, blue, red, and yellow.
Yep.
They look like Angry Bird emoticon looking motherfuckers. Now I know I said Angry Birds. Yes, I swear it has nothing to do with Angry Birds. Angry Birds is a good game for a 5-year-old about 10 years ago. So this is much better. Please give it a shot. And lastly, and this one is a bit of a weird one for me, Nick. Have you heard of a little game called Destiny?
I have indeed heard of Destiny, my good sir.
Now, have you heard of a game called Destiny Child?
I'm unfamiliar with that game, my good sir.
Are you really?
Yeah.
So I had no idea what to expect. I was one night when I was gonna close my fluttery little eyes. I like to watch a stream of something or something, because I like to develop ADD or some shit like that, or whatever the hell they say back in the day. Hey, don't fall asleep with the TV on; you'll get have trouble sleeping. Really? I found this game called Destiny Child, had a cool looking icon, which obviously was a great move on their part because it lured my dumb ass in. And I proceeded to watch somebody play it on stream. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so, ladies and gentlemen, there is a mobile game out there. This is like cam level bait. This is totally a game for cam.
Is it a gacha game?
It is 100% a gacha game. So the premise is kind of wild. And in fact, I'm pretty sure they're just making it up as they go. Honestly, I feel like they got Elon Musk, gave him a nice fat stogie and said, tell us what you would think would happen if there was Japan and something about trying to become top devil. Like, top devil, eh? Ooh. Can I put a Tesla coil in it? Sure. Fuck it. Let's do this. And so they made the game called Destiny Child. Now, I don't know why they call it Destiny. I wonder if people are, trying to get the Destiny mobile app or something like that.
Yeah.
The child part makes sense, which is actually kind of creepy.
I'm going to interject here. I did a quick Google search just now of Destiny Child. I put in Destiny Child game, and one of the first results that popped up was a YouTube video with the title Destiny Child, the thickest gacha game. And I kind of know, I can guess what this is about now.
Oh, you've never actually seen it or played it before? You said you heard of it.
I said no, I haven't heard of it. I've heard of Destiny.
Okay.
You asked if I heard of Destiny. I said yes. And then you asked if I heard of Destiny's Child. I said no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pay attention, Tyler. We're live.
Okay, yes, you're right. You're right, Nick. Destiny Child is a gacha game where it is a RPG style system. It is very casual. You can have, I believe, up to 4 different people that can fight on your behalf, and they have normal auto attacks, and you're just clearing out waves of enemies in this campaign of sorts. And you can also charge up attacks. You can do slide attacks, which is a technique attack that has a cooldown. Then you can do super special attacks and all that stuff. So it's hella RPG in a sense, but it's also simplified. It's simplified in the battle aspect. It's preparing your characters. That is the more Korean level convoluted shit that you can imagine, like a skill tree that I feel like not even the developers understand, but they made it anyways. But of course,
it's making them money. Why are they going to stop? Right?
That is certainly not what's making its money. There is a different level of aspect to it, and in fact, mind you, I was playing this on my phone as a passenger in a semi truck. I had to make sure my phone was reflecting towards me. I was not going to let them see, because this is some very perverted level shit. Like, this is hella Japan, Korea level shit of like, you guys like girls, right? So we made all sorts of anime girls. And it's like, okay.
Thank you.
So, fun fact. I'm not sure if I've just gotten boring in taste or what. I've not found a single character in that game moderately attractive. It's been all a huge turnoff, and it's like, okay, they, nothing against women in real life with larger cups. Shout out to a lot of people like that, but they're doing it just intentionally to be perverted sexual deviants. It's disgusting. It's like, just give me a bunch of characters that are cute and silly and stuff, because there are guys that you can play in this game. Spoiler alert, I think there's like one to every 100, but there's still a guy out there, and they're called childs. Essentially, the premise of the campaign is you are a devil. You accidentally got drawn into the contest to become top devil because the first one or the last one retired, and your goal is to get as many childs or children as you can, which is essentially you making a devil pact with somebody. You complete the task they ask for. You persona jump into their fucking minds. I kid you not. Guess where this is going, and going through a bunch of levels of the dungeons and fighting monsters, and then fighting the super devil spirit that is inside them. Defeating them, they will join you and they become your child. And so the goal is to build a fucking army of childs from all these like soul parts from people. Like, you're essentially making Horcrux that have their own body forms and shapes, mostly curves. For example, the first pact you make is with a nurse who is bored with her life. She wants something more exciting. She's been kind of, stressed out with work.
That makes sense. Of course, you have a nurse bored with her life. What does she do? Decide to make a pact with the devil to add some excitement into her life.
And I don't know why this nurse is just idly walking around in full costume, but also her uniform dictates that it has to be like barely showing the panties for some reason. It's like, okay, this is an interesting dress code. And so then I get to fight her soul spirit looking motherfucker, which is a succubus, who is a giant floating.
Of course it is. Of course, the nurse who's bored with her mundane routine of saving people has a succubus inside her as her inner representation, and she wants to make a deal with the devil to add some excitement into her life, but you have to fight the succubus first. Of course, that's a thing.
A giant floating nurse genie looking motherfucker who is riding on a giant needle that is filled with white liquid. What that could be is anybody's guess. Some reason they have talcum laced milk. I don't know. It's sus as all hell. Right now I'm on the second chapter where I'm trying to unlock a interesting fellow. This person, I believe, is based off of greed versus lust. Like, I'm not sure if they're going for virtues right now, but basically this guy is drowning in debt, and he wished for a shit ton of money. So we jumped into his persona dungeon level shit, and he's just gold everywhere, and this big fat ass motherfucker with a crown on saying, "Behold, I am the king. I'll never join you." And he's like, "Oh, I have the hots for your companion because I'm a loser." And then he wants to fight you. And interestingly enough, your partner, Mona, is trying to recruit these people much more than your character is. And by the way, you get a fixed character, and he looks lame as shit. Like, horribly bad. Like, comically bad. Like, it's a punk 15-year-old teenager with a red and black spiked haircut, constantly wearing headphones all the time, and looking like they're trying to go for the old I'm just a normal teenage boy who's going to high school, and then there's going to be all these super characters around me kind of anime. But he's boring as fuck. And,
I just looked up a picture, and he just seems very.
He looks
seems like
He looks like an emo demon version of a Colgate toothpaste with that fucking hair. It just freaks me out. But I guess Mona, his sidekick essentially, or secretary. It just stinks because I want to give her a position of power because she belongs there. She is powerful as all hell. But she's like, "Oh, master," and I was like, "Oh shit." Anyways, apparently this king guy has the hots for her, and so he wants to, and she's trying to grease him up to join us, and so he's walking around, and this lady behind her, I guess a nymph, is like, "Master, your juice is here," and he's like, "Thank you," and then the nymph is like, "You're welcome, you're awesome, yay." And Amona's like, "Well, shit, I guess I didn't pay that nymph enough to grease him up." And it's just weird how this very lazy nymph is like, I'll say he's okay. Whatever. I'm not paid enough here. And so they're introducing a bunch of concepts that are contesting the way things happen in a lot of cultures, to the point that I'm almost comparing this game to Detroit Become Human. There's a lot of perversion, a lot of
whoa. So what is this game? Destiny Child, best game of the year 2019? Is that what's happening here?
I mean, I think it just very recently came out this year for a worldwide audience. So, I mean, that's going to be a possibility for at least another 2 weeks. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 HD Redux version, since we already got the 2018 version.
I've been watching a bunch of people play through Kingdom Hearts actually.
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah.
No.
Why?
No.
What?
You can't. You shouldn't be watching a game that technically came out last year, but didn't really. You shouldn't be watching. Are you just watching the trailers? Or are you watching like full-on gameplay footage?
What? So what did I say? Did I say I'm watching people play through Kingdom Hearts 3?
Okay, that is exactly what you said. And so,
okay. No, I'm watching. I meant to say I'm watching people play through Kingdom Hearts in preparation for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
I have no interest. This is probably going to start some fires, but I have no interest in Kingdom Hearts whatsoever.
Let me slap a disclaimer here, because you could have easily said Kingdom Hearts, and I assume you meant Kingdom Hearts 3, so that could be also equally my bad.
We'll listen through it later, but to be very specific, I'm watching several people play through the existing Kingdom Hearts games.
I love how Kingdom Hearts shamed you. No, Nick, you can't do that. No,
I was so
Nick,
confused.
You're hurting yourself.
I'm watching people play this game and try to understand what the hype is about. Now I'm getting shit on for watching people play through Kingdom Hearts 2.
So, okay, Kingdom Hearts or Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3? Pick one, Nick.
I said all the Kingdom Hearts games in preparation for Kingdom Hearts 3.
And so why are you watching 1 and 2? Why not 1.5 and 2.5? That's what I meant, Tyler. That's what I meant.
Honestly, I don't fucking know. There's too many fucking games in this series, and the story is super convoluted. There's time travel for no fucking reason. Everybody has a Keyblade right now. Like, it's fucking Riku's best boy, by the way. But anyways, that's a different argument. It's the game seems interesting.
Now, do you mean Riku? Do you mean digital Riku, or do you mean
all of them.
Replica?
Tyler, all of them.
Okay. Like I said, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay, if you say so. Nick, just a heads up, the difference between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 1.5 is 1 will give you a headache and 1 looks okay. And then you got 1.5 Final Remix, which adds fucking what's the term? Not recon. Is it recon? Or
Retcon?
Retcon, yes. Where they retcon their own fucking story by adding cutscenes that they didn't think of until years later in Kingdom Hearts 2 and other games. It just keep things going in place. So Kingdom Hearts 1, the original game, Kingdom Hearts 1.5, the HD remake, Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Final Remix is the final HD game with extra cutscenes to help people understand what the fuck is going on in Kingdom Hearts 3, because they're not going to play the mobile games. It's going to be fun, Nick. It's going to be a hell of a ride.
Yeah, sure. I'll take your word for it.
Hey, at least we'll get Donald looking goofy, right? That's pretty much.
I can't fucking stand Donald. I forgot how much I hated Donald. Donald's voice drives me up a fucking wall. It was always Donald and Daffy. Hate both of them.
Nick, his own wife hates him, Daisy. So I mean, it's like everybody's in good company at this point. So I guess my point is, I feel like for somebody, a lot of people that maybe haven't touched this game for 12 years, they're gonna like start Kingdom Hearts 3 thinking, oh, it's the next one after Kingdom Hearts 2, and their only attachment point is there's gonna be a goddamn duck that sounds like he smoked for 20 years, and that's gonna be their only safety baby blanket they're gonna be able to hold on to. Like, who the hell's this kid? Is that Sora?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. And it's like, is it really Sora, or is it really Roxas, or is it really Ventus? We can never tell ultimately. We all sometimes just look the same inside. But have different voice characters. Man, shout out to Paul McCartney. Wait, was it Paul McCartney? No, I think it was somebody else.
Paul McCartney's the Beatle.
Yeah, I know. Shit. No, there's a McCartney that does the voice actor for Roxas, and I don't remember, bless you.
Bless you.
Who? Oh, Jesse McCartney. My bad.
Okay,
My bad.
yeah. Did you know that Paul McCartney collaborated with the people to make the soundtrack for Destiny 1?
I did not know that. That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's one of my favorite soundtracks. Yeah.
Good to know. So Kingdom Hearts, you've been watching a bit of Kingdom Hearts. So now, why is that? Are you actually interested in potentially getting Kingdom Hearts 3?
No, no. It's just that a lot of the people that I watch are playing through it because they're also really excited. Because a lot of them, like a lot of the people that I follow, they grew up with Kingdom Hearts, and so they're just playing through it to jog their memory and just to see how bad the game. They're not bad games. At least I wouldn't know.
What the fuck are you trying to say, Nick? You're gonna get yourself. You're about to get fucked up, son. You done goofed. The fuck did you say?
Controls are janky in comparison to modern games.
Your controls are janky.
That's true. Nobody likes me. What?
Oh, I like you. Apparently, my wife did last night too, according to all these fucking Discord messages.
Honestly, I don't even know what happened there, but let's move on. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
Suspicious as fuck, man.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Okay. What about Kingdom Hearts?
Donald can't heal for shit. That's one.
Yeah, like it's pretty much if you have him set the normal, he'll like, fuck you. You got a potion in there somewhere that's gonna take you 10 seconds. Or I think you can change it to like heal the moment I stub my toe, so he doesn't have magic at any point in time. He'll just burn it immediately, like thunder, thunder, thunder. Oh gosh, that'll end healing. Sorry, son, I don't have any mana.
Or
just grayscale's wasted.
What did I say? I think the Hercules part of Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of my favorites, purely because of the little imp guy. I think his name's Fred. Sounds like Danny DeVito.
Phil, who is
Phil, yeah.
I mean, in Hercules, it is voiced like the movie. It's voiced by Danny DeVito. So
is it actually?
Sense. Yeah, I mean, seriously, that is 100% Phil. Or sorry, Danny DeVito. But obviously in Kingdom Hearts, I don't think he did it, but I could be wrong.
I looked it up. They didn't get I don't think they got him, but
I think the only major there's a couple of major celebrities that voiced in Kingdom Hearts. Like for example, Sephiroth, an optional mini boss character in both of them, I believe is voiced by Lance Bass of NSYNC.
Okay, yeah.
Why? I have no fucking idea because Sephiroth only gets like 3 lines, but okay. And then the final character, man, this is gonna bug me. The final boss of Kingdom Hearts 1, Ansem. He's voiced by the antagonist-like character actor from Titanic. The guy that's supposed to marry or is engaged to Rose, but she breaks it off with him.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Man, it's upsetting me that I don't remember this because he is such a great actor too. Let's see. Billy Zane. Billy Zane was a
Billy
fantastic
Zane.
character.
Why do I know that name? Let's see.
Because it's fucking Billy Zane. He was one of the best voice actors of the 90s. I would say to some extent into the 2000s too. How do you not know who Billy Zane is? Even though I totally had to look up the voice actor's name. It's also honestly, I feel like that was one of his biggest moments was in Titanic. Actually, I couldn't tell you what else he was in. I'm looking at he's in Zoolander 2. It's Billy Zane. Oh, that's cool.
He's in the Scorpion King 3. I've not seen that one.
I haven't seen any of the Scorpion Kings, but that's for good reason. Let's see. Oh man,
he was in Back to the Future.
He was, but as some character named Match. I don't remember that.
I don't remember Match.
Yeah, I just say, who the fuck is Match? Why the fuck are we looking at Billy Zane's IMDb right now?
I don't know. We have to talk about video games, dude.
I see it. 2002 Kingdom Hearts as Ansem.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say very specifically, it's Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, also known as Xehanort, not actual Ansem the Wise.
Fucking story's convoluted. I'm done with it.
It's sad because Billy Zane does not return for Kingdom Hearts 2 for any other rendition of Xehanort, so it just rest in peace. He has such a good voice, and it's nice bass to it. The character the voice actor that did Xemnas was okay, but he was really cheesy, I guess, and slow. And I guess that was the point. Paul Peter, but it didn't suit me. Anyways, yes, let's keep moving. What's going on, Nick? Do you got a modular segment for me?
Yeah, it's really just a question, like a discussion-based question. And I'll read it off as it is because that's what I was thinking of when
if it's a yes or no question, are we about to blow right through it?
It's not a yes or no question.
Oh, okay.
So I've been thinking about picking up a card game recently.
Yes.
Find a card game to go back to. I listened to a podcast the other day. I think it was called 99% or Interesting. I think, but they basically did a episode on Magic the Gathering, and
nice.
It's making me think about picking it up. 99% Invisible. That's what it's called. And so one of their most recent episodes talks about Magic the Gathering. They look into why it's so popular still and how it conforms to traditions of storytelling, but still maintains its individuality as a card game. And I thought that was interesting enough. And I miss playing card games too. And when I'm talking about card games, I'm specifically talking about like trading card games like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, stuff like that. And so I thought, what video game that we play would make a good card game?
So Kingdom Hearts could easily have a card game. Now, hear me out.
Right? Yeah.
Let's say if everybody just played Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Final Remix, they could play Kingdom Hearts 2. Or they could consider Square Enix's video game card game called Chain of Memories. Now it's a little rough around the edges, but all trading card games can be. So now you didn't say a trading card game, you just said a good card game. So I mean, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is a shit fest, god awful piece of shit game. So I'm not even going to try to go with that. So anyways, what video game would make a good card game?
Yep.
Ooh. Do you have any suggestions or any thoughts on your end?
No, I mean, just think about adapting structures like Yu-Gi-Oh, or at least like original Yu-Gi-Oh, not with the convoluted mess it is today. I
mean, that's a card game that was given a TV show and then often video games. You said what video game would make a good card game?
Yeah, so I'm saying, like in terms of structuring it, where you have monsters, you have spells, you take turns, you have a limited amount of resources every turn. Maybe those resources build up over time, or you're limited to a certain number of actions. In that sort of like structure, what kind of video game would translate over quite well? What do you think?
I feel like Final Fantasy, as a genre, could potentially have a full-on card game. Now they do have something called Triple Triad, which I'm not sure if you ever heard of it. The first time I heard of it was Final Fantasy VIII. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how evolved. I'm sure it got hella evolved where basically it's kind of like tic-tac-toe, but it's a 3x3 grid. Each card you put down is of a video game character from Final Fantasy, and it would have a number on each side. And you try to raise that, beat that number in a game of war, essentially. So if they were to put a card in the center that was 8, 4, 5, 6, you try to put the 8, or just put a 5 over the 4, but then try to cover your sides so that card can't be taken by them, and whoever has the most cards flipped in their favor wins. And so something like that would be fun. I'd like an actual like decent version of that. The problem is though, with that offers a level of availability for pay the win, right? Because of course all the cooler characters got higher numbers and stuff like that, and so it's like, is that really fun? Now, what actual video game would make a good card game?
I was thinking, what if you could take an existing RTS, but the RTS I had in mind was Halo Wars 2 or Halo Wars, and convert that into a card format, and how that would play out.
I'm surprised you didn't go the Destiny route. I would have thought that out of you.
That was my first thought, but I was going to avoid that because I wouldn't know what to do with it. I feel like with the Destiny, you could probably do, like, if you just avoid Guardians completely and just focus on the 4 factions, enemy factions.
I was going to say, can you, though? I feel like, honestly, if I don't want to go too heavy on the Destiny route because it's going to get a heavy topic talk today, but the idea that, like, maybe instead of playing against each other, you're like up to 4 players playing together, and you're doing a strike mission where you draw cards and you got to play cards to take on like different challenges on this board until you get to the final boss, and then you got to roll dice to position yourself on an enemy, and the way the enemy attacks or clears you out, depends on where you're positioned and whatnot, and you can do different moves based off of your class or something. Like every like Titans will get their own deck that they get the draw from, and Warlocks would get their own deck, and just something weird like that.
Sure. I was just thinking of like I wasn't thinking about Guardians in any way because each of the 4 enemy factions, well, 5 technically, have their own motivations and their own ambitions as they move through the universe and the lore that is built in the game. Like the Hive need to kill everything to become stronger. The Fallen are in search of getting the Traveler back to get their power back. The Vex are trying to assimilate everything into one, and the Cabal are just trying to conquer. Right, so I feel like having a card game based around all those different motives would work out well as these different enemy factions.
You said a lot of stuff that I did not know about. So now we're like the Fallen. They want the Traveler back.
Yeah, so the Fallen, just really quick, the Fallen used to have the Traveler, and then the Traveler left them, and it was known as the Great Whirlwind, and so they're like, we want the Traveler back, so that's why they're attacking Earth. Carry on.
So technically, the Fallen are essentially a race that is now the ex-girlfriend of the Traveler.
They're known as the Eliksni.
Now, did the Traveler leave because they just weren't being goody two-shoes or proper guardians over things, or what?
No, the Traveler didn't give them light per se. It gave them ether. More ether, which is their life source. But the darkness was encroaching. And so the Traveler's like, nah, see ya, bitches, I'm out, and then just dipped.
Oh, so the Traveler didn't think that these ellipses or whatever you called them couldn't stop the darkness, so they just pieced out and left them?
Something like that. Not too...
It feels like the Traveler might be kind of at fault there. Like, if I was the Fallen, I'd be pissed too.
Well, with how it left, it caused a calamity known as the Great Whirlwind that ravaged their planet, and hence they're called the Fallen because they've fallen from grace. They believe that they were not good enough for the Traveler to stick around, and hence they have now become the Fallen. They're not good enough to take back the name of their people, which is the Eliksni.
It sounds like the Fallen would be an interesting race to see a little bit more details on, because it feels like Traveler might have fucked up there as a supreme being. Like
yes, there is a lot of argument as to who's actually the darkness and who's actually the good or bad guys. What if the Traveler is the darkness? What if all these different forces have been trying to destroy the Traveler, and the Traveler just keeps throwing shit back and resisting? Because if you look at the names of the Hive units, you have wizards, acolytes, knights. These are not names given to predominantly evil beings or people with evil motives. These are names given to beings of legend, beings of power, good people.
Dark Wizard, Black Knight. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, that's true. But these are these are things added on. Otherwise, they're just known as knights, acolytes, wizards. Again, here we're just nitpicking into semantics and the lore, but it's an interesting thing because the lore that they've added in game is by far better than any of the stories they've ever crafted as main campaigns.
Do you feel the Traveler is omnipotently good? No. Is it good? You don't think it's good? No. You consider it neutral then?
We know nothing about the Traveler.
Okay, so it's still a mysterious, powerful being of sorts then.
Yeah,
so you don't...
I believe the Traveler is going to be the downfall.
So you feel like it won't be intrinsically good in the end. You feel like it's going to be the main conflict. Well, I mean, obviously it's the main conflict because it's there. Huh, interesting. Okay, I like where you're going with that. But let's keep off the Destiny talk. I'm trying to think of any other good games that could make into a card game. Because if we don't talk about anything else, we're going to go straight back into the Destiny talk. Hey, no, I'm okay with that. It's a Destiny episode, and this is where we lose everybody.
Could you make a card game out of the Zelda universe?
Off the what universe?
The Zelda universe.
Oh, I thought you said Selden. I'm like, the fuck is that? I mean, Nick, just like as you said, you didn't want to go the route with you and Destiny. I feel like if I said Zelda immediately, I would be like, oh.
No, but in this case, like there's a lot more to the Zelda universe than there is the Destiny universe. How many games for how long has the Zelda universe been around? There's a lot more depth to the universe. So could you do something with the universe in general rather than a specific
Are you ready for
game?
this?
Yeah.
I got a hot pitch. I'm pulling this straight out of my ass or my head.
All right,
Take it.
all right, let's go.
Okay, so the card game is a board-like game, but it's gonna it's gonna be card-based. It's gonna be like Four Swords Adventures, where each character is gonna have a different colored link that they're working together, but they're trying to grab more rupees to get to the end of the dungeon. And along the way, the players can either screw each other over, just by mishaps, or help each other to gain benefits together. So maybe red and green are winning, so purple and blue team up to do this side room. It'll give them more rupees. And I feel like a cool game like that, where you get to the final boss, attacks this area, and if 3 links are in here, they can stop the attack. But if there's only 2 links, they'll take damage and lose rupees. And so you can decide whether or not to help or let them take the damage. Just like a cool strategy like that. Now, how you can implement into a card form, I just feel like kind of like Munchkins at this point, where
Right.
4 links kick down the door. What's behind it? It's a like. I thought it was cool. Yeah, just thought in my head.
So, like, part of the reason why I ask is, as well as apart from me wanting to pick up a card game, is we have to design an actual game, a physical game, by the end of the course, the game design course, and I really want to build, I really want to make a card game where, but a more chaotic. A chaotic trading card game, but not as much trading card to eliminate as much RNG as possible. So games are short, games are quick, and it's more about strategy and a little bit of luck. And I'm not sure how to do that. I'm trying to figure it out. But again, I want to know what I'm going to be doing until we actually form our groups, which won't be for a little while. But that's what I would like to do.
Honestly, not that you say that, I kind of want to brainstorm with you because it could be fun. I feel like
once we come with, no matter what we end up doing, you can be sure as heck I'm going to be using any kind of connection I have to play test this idea as much as possible, so that because I have this huge connection, relatively sizable connection to a gaming audience, that I feel like I could get some decent feedback.
And you absolutely should. I feel like that would be a fun thing to beta test. The idea of playing a custom-made card game, I'd be okay with that.
Or board game of any kind. I'd be able to send people instructions on what they could use to stand in for certain objects or whatever, and then then they can tell me like, oh, these instructions were really unclear, or these things didn't make sense, or this didn't make sense. I had fun with this. I didn't have fun with this, and I think using just figuring that out would be fun. Yeah.
I'd also be okay with Uno with just Pokemon on it or something. But okay, so Nick.
Yes. Hi.
Nick. We've talked so much about Destiny. And,
well, we've talked about Destiny as a game. This is something else.
This is holy shit, something else. Nick, something happened this week. Just a little thing.
Something did indeed happen this week. I'm just gonna open this up, just make sure I get names right.
Open that tiny little file or something, take a look at it. So, how the fuck did it happen? Like, the level of shit that had been pulled off to get this to happen is just beyond understanding. What the hell?
So there was I don't know if you've kept up with it or seen or even heard about it. There was a puzzle this week in the game that was so incredibly difficult. It was the single longest event in Destiny history that people were unable to solve it. And so the joke behind that is the puzzle was so difficult, Activision called it quits.
Jesus.
But we don't really know specifically what caused it. We're getting a lot of our information from Jason Schreier over at Kotaku, who wrote an article. Bungie has split with Activision, ladies and gentlemen, and I could not be happier. The implications that this has for developers is interesting. There's a couple of things here. Bungie. Okay, we have to keep a few things in mind in terms of the game Destiny. It's not going to absolve them of any blame so far, and it's not gonna. It doesn't necessarily mean that good things are gonna happen at the game.
And but this saying that people are still going to do that. They're going to say it was all Microsoft's fault, you know, for the Halo going bad or stuff like that, or you know, it was all Activision why Destiny 2 had such little content and all that stuff. And it's like, you know,
true.
People like that.
If and people would say that if Destiny launched with Forsaken, because Destiny did not launch with Forsaken because the first year was so bad. The sentiments being shared on the internet are more hopeful than blindly thinking that things are going to turn out good. For the most part, there are people who blindly think that it was all Activision. The majority of people that I follow and that I've seen on my timeline on social media is that, all right, this is how it's going to go. This is a good thing because it means that Bungie has full responsibility over what they do with their IP. But now if they fuck up, it's entirely on them. Now is when they actually have to put in the effort to make sure that you know, they're not placing unreasonable deadlines on them. They're not doing things that are that's affecting the design quality, the game quality. Because as far as speculation goes, we can assume that Activision set strict deadlines which affected production quality. Activision enforced microtransactions which affected player reaction. The community didn't feel too good about it and just was scummy at some parts. And Activision probably enforced the fact that they needed to have paid content releases regularly.
Are you referring to the annual passes level stuff?
Annual pass, not the most recent annual pass, but like the DLC every like 3-4 months. And again, this does not absolve like Bungie. This is not all Activision. Activision did not develop this game. Bungie still is not being forgiven for some of the design choices and
forgiven. Really, is that the term we're going to use for how things have played out?
I'm saying not been forgiven.
I know
it's not being forgotten. It's not being You're right.
Forgiven makes it sound like they've committed a sin. It's like forgiving would be like for something like fucking Bethesda. I mean, I understand.
Or Battlefront 2.
Or like Destiny was not, top of the line. Well, I mean, it was in some aspects, but it got boring. A lot of people might feel scorned from the lack of content. Scorned, ha ha ha. But it wasn't like it was like they were trying to go out of their way to save a buck and just screw everybody over. I mean, they were fucking trying. So it's like they were not flat out trying to sin in the gaming world like Mr. Fallout 76. So just the way you said it, it seems so rough.
You're right. I just mean that basically whatever happens now, people are
say just because I attack you, Nick, you don't have to agree with me, buddy. You can tell me that.
No, I agree with you. I don't think, again, like we said, Battlefront 2, there are people, developers, publishers who've done a lot worse. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We're not going to see anything immediate happen because the next few months have been planned out based on the roadmap given to us from the annual pass. The implications.
Do you think that's going to stay, just given the circumstances?
I think so. I think it is going to stay because at this point, I feel like any kind of transition is going to shake things up a bit. And so having something that is planned and something that is going to happen is probably better for the development team just in general to have that to fall back on while they decide what to do going forward. We probably will not see any real changes until September, when traditionally a new set of content comes out, or Destiny 3.
Okay. Wow. Drop that bomb right.
Most likely Destiny 3 is going to come out, and that's probably going to be make it or break it. It's either Destiny 3 is going to come out and it's going to be the best thing that Bungie's ever done, or Destiny 2 is going to end up being the best thing that Bungie's ever done, or everything just flops and Bungie says, GG, we tried. And then they focus on their $100 million cash infusion they got from NetEase last year.
or they go back to Microsoft as everybody's like, go back to Microsoft, come back home to daddy. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
But from Jason Schreier, I'm just trying to find the piece in this article.
There's a couple of things that Jason had said, like on Twitter, and mind you, I'm paraphrasing, talking about his heavy concern with about a developer, divorcing itself from two of one of the of the biggest publishers on the market. First from Microsoft and then second from Activision. I mean, that is a two big players that you're splitting off from, and it's never been heard of before as far as anybody is aware. Like, have you heard of a bigger split twice like this?
Well, we'd also have to keep in mind that these are two entirely different relationships. With Bungie and Microsoft, it's entirely regarding Halo, and in that fight, Microsoft won by taking Halo, and now we have. No, I wouldn't even have the know-how to say whether they're marginally vastly different teams, but it is still a different team that made Destiny, and it is not a big secret that going into this partnership before Destiny even released, that Bungie and Activision already had some issues, and the relationship was a little bit rocky because I'm assuming of all the expectations that Activision had from Bungie in terms of pushing out content and monetizing things.
Doesn't always like that, especially with Activision and EA. It feels like constant concern and anxiety, because it always feels like they're always like having a reaching hand to say, hey, we'll help you. But the moment they make agreements, it goes downhill real quick. It's like, I'll help you by juicing you for everything you're worth, making you hateable, and then just toss you away.
Yep. In all honesty, right now is just a waiting game to see what happens. But the implications it has for independent developers is that if Bungie does well, if Bungie succeeds, it's basically the message saying that you can do it too. Like it's not like you need to rely on a lot of these publishers. Unfortunately, you have to when it comes to monetary constraints and resources and finding teams, outsourcing certain work. But I'm excited, honestly, for the future of Bungie.
Do you think Destiny 2 right now, or very soon when this splits 100% official, do you think they stay on the BlizzNet launcher?
Yeah, they did confirm. Activision and Blizzard did confirm that it's going to stay on the Battle.net launcher.
Okay.
So that's been confirmed. I am curious, though, as to what's going to happen with the partners they were working with that are under Activision. I believe it was Vicarious Visions and High Moon Studios. So there was, when Destiny 2 launched, it launched September 2017 on Xbox and PC, PS4, and then it was we had to wait for 6 weeks to get it to launch on PC, and a lot of people were upset.
Yeah, that sounds kind of fucked up. I didn't know that.
I was okay with it because I'd rather wait. Not even that. No, I'd rather wait for a good port rather than a shitty port done with that was rushed. I'd rather wait for a better product than a shitty product. And Vicarious Visions played a big hand in helping port things over to the PC. They played a big hand in helping with, I believe they did the Warmind story, which is why it's marginally better than Curse of Osiris, in my opinion.
You said marginally. I feel like it's a lot better, man.
I'm trying to be nice.
I'm sorry.
Because they butchered the character of Osiris. Osiris and the lore is a badass. In Curse of Osiris, he's an old man who can't do anything and needs your help to solve all the world's problems.
You spoke of High Moon. No, High Moon had a hand in helping Destiny get out on platforms, you say?
Yeah, I believe. Honestly, I don't know what High Moon did. I'll be completely honest. I know Vicarious Visions did a lot more.
Right now, I'm looking at it right now, and it says that they helped develop it for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. No mention of PC though, so I'm guessing that's where the other company came.
It was entirely Vicarious Visions. Yeah, they did a fantastic job with the port. It's one of the best games I've ever played on PC in terms of how it mechanically felt. just gameplay and how it mechanically felt. That's a big part of the reason why I can't stop playing it, because there isn't a game out there that to me feels just as good with my mouse and keyboard aiming and shooting things.
Well, I got news for you. Surfing on the high seas, there is a game out there that is so convoluted that even you will find some kind of enjoyment out of it. I'm sure. Maybe. We'll see. So, what do you think happens next? I mean, you talked about the idea of the whole Destiny 3 thing. We got the roadmap that's finishing up right now. Shit, man. That is so much to think about.
So a couple of things. We're probably not going to see any PlayStation exclusives anymore, which is what I'm excited for, because I believe it was an Activision Sony deal that kept because does Activision do Call of Duty?
Activision does do Call of Duty, yes.
Yeah, so Activision, like the same thing with the Call of Duty PlayStation exclusives, which is something honestly I hated. But I would really like to see Bungie think about. I don't know if we also don't know to what extent Activision played a hand in saying no or giving the pass to with Bungie's ideas. I don't think a lot of people outside of Bungie know the full extent of that. So I can only speculate as to whether they were the reason why we didn't have cross save, which might be the case because of Activision's ties to Sony. And so no cross-platform saving between PS4, Xbox, and PC, because a big part of the problem right now is, in terms of PvP specifically, is the meta is so different on PC and consoles. So I cannot have a conversation with somebody who plays on a console about what kind of guns are best to use, just because they're two different games, pretty much. The player base is so widely split, and it just splits up the community as well when it comes to PvP, and not to mention the fact that we haven't seen any PvP significant changes in a long time, and it leads me to question whether the PvP team exists or not. So either they have to do something or get the fuck out and bring in people who actually know what they're doing, because a game like this cannot survive on a patch every 3-4 months. Overwatch regularly patches their game. You need to change things up. You need to constantly take feedback. Having a public test region is important. We'd like to have dedicated servers because peer-to-peer is garbage. There's a lot I'd like to see from the game.
I mean, the peer-to-peer is only garbage, especially if it's not server-based. I mean, let's be real. If we're going to do peer-to-peer and, somebody's in Switzerland, the other person's over in, the Philippines, yeah, peer-to-peer is going to suck, but if it's set strictly to like North America servers for your Destiny region, then it wouldn't be that bad. I don't think
it's still pretty bad. Some people just have terrible internet. I've played against people where I'd see them standing right in front of me, not even aim at me, look at me, or raise their gun, and then I'd be dead.
Don't you like that?
I love it, but it's a waiting game right now. We can just wait and see. I don't think this bodes. Obviously, this doesn't bode well for Activision. Financially, their stock has dropped quite a bit.
Yeah, it dropped like crazy, just dumped. I mean, it recovered, I think, a quarter of it back, but it hurt.
Activision's also gotten rid of, according to this article, Skylanders quite recently. They've started They've started making decisions for Blizzard, and I don't know if Blizzard is, too happy about some of the decisions it's making. In this case, I'm talking about what happened to Heroes of the Storm, yes. With majority of the support and people being moved to other teams and support being dropped for Heroes of the Storm. That means the competitive scene is also officially dead. Well, the official competitive scene is dead.
Imagine the story right here. Activision is the parent of many children. The youngest one, of course, the little child, Bungie. Bungie's like, I'm done listening to you. I'm leaving. I'm going to pay my own rent. I'm out of here. Slams the door behind him. And Activision's like, oh, these children just drive me crazy. And then they look at the oldest, who's still there, like living in their mom's basement. Blizzard, get over here. We need to talk. And Blizzard's like, oh, God damn it, Bungie. You're supposed to take some of the heat, but now that you're gone, I get all the yelling at my mommy. And it's like, it's got to be rough for Blizzard right now because they got to be in like a heated position. Activision is like, we got to make money. Who's got oranges, the juice? And, poor Blizzard had like a big bale full of it just back in the day, but now it's like holding on to two. Like, please, I need these. One's for the vanilla server. He's like, no, juice it now. And it's like, no, we got to work on patches. It's just rough. I'm trying to remember what other companies does Activision own. I mean, Activision Blizzard, I should say specifically. I mean, Blizzard isn't like the inferior. It's technically a merge, but let's be real. Whenever we think of Blizzard, we think of the name Activision. Oh man.
But this honestly, I've always been of the mindset that Bungie needs to stand up for themselves when it comes to their own game, and that happened late last year when Activision announced that they weren't happy with the sales. It didn't meet their sales standard, Destiny 2 Forsaken. And Bungie basically, in very rough, paraphrased words, were like, nah, fam, fuck you. We're happy with it. We're going to keep doing our own thing. And that was what Forsaken was, I believe. It was an experiment on Bungie truly taking back its own power, standing up for themselves, and doing what they believe is best, rather than relying on, the words of their dad, the instructions of their dad. And honestly, we've had this discussion on the show before too. Publisher-developer relationships are often not easy, because the publishers don't really care about what goes into making the video game or how much effort goes into it. All they care about is the money. And I truly believe that's what happened here. And Bungie had enough of it, and they decided we're gonna split.
Quoting the situation you're talking about, oh geez, I'm sorry. I was about the Activision Blizzard COO, Cody Johnson. Now, while Forsaken is a high-quality expansion with strong engagement and new modes to play, it did not achieve our commercial expectations, and there's still work to do to fully re-engage the core Destiny fan base. And then, as you suggested before that, game director Luke Smith from Bungie then responded saying, "We are not disappointed with Forsaken. We set out to build a game that Destiny players would love, and at Bungie, we do love it too. Building Destiny for players who love it and will remain our focus going forward." So yeah, you're right. It was technically a pot shot to each other. Now, a lot of people didn't, they just kind of heard, Activision unhappy, Bungie okay. Yeah. And it's like, well, I mean, what did they say specifically? Well, it was that. It's not actually, read or hear it with your own eye ears.
That's funny. That's silly. Reminds me of Ants in My Eyes Johnson. I think that's his name.
Wait, what? Ants in My Eyes Johnson?
I think that's his name.
What the hell?
That's a Rick and Morty reference.
Okay. So, is there anything else you want to talk about with Destiny? Do you think?
No, I think I've said enough. At least, it really is just a waiting game right now to see what happens. Again, don't expect anything major to happen in the next few months or even this year. Even it's very unlikely that anything major would happen at least until September. But it's up to Bungie now how they want to go from here, how they want to respond to things. I believe, I could be very wrong. I don't even know if I'm supposed to know about this, but there is another summit, a creator summit.
Secret information.
There's another creator summit that Bungie's hosting soon to get feedback from the community. So we'll see what the results of that are. But yeah.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Something to look forward to. It's going to be exciting. Coming out this week for game releases, we have I got 5 notable ones. Notable is a loose term, Nick. I just want to say for the record. The first one is Onimusha Warlords.
It's still pretty slow, huh? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But
no, it is. It's slow as shit. Yeah. Onimusha Warlords is coming out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC. So if it's coming out for Switch and the Xbox One, professional doubt, suspicious. January 15th. Also coming out on the 15th is The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 3, Broken Toys, which is kind of weird considering that is Telltale. I mean,
no, there was a company that said they were gonna work on finishing it.
Yes, I believe the comic book company in charge of The Walking Dead. Like the legit company stepped in with their own development team somehow. It's I'm glad they're finishing it. It's just weird knowing that it's still happening. Like, should I be happy this game is coming out?
I don't know. I've not had any interest in these games.
And me neither. It just feels like the game will continue even though the original team is gone. It doesn't feel right. I mean, it's been said that a lot of the staff that got laid off that god awful day came back with this company to help finish it, but at the same time it's like it's just a fucked up situation. Coming out on the 17th is Y2K. I have no, or YIIK. I have no idea. Yikes! A postmodern RPG. That's the fucking subtitle. Great. It's coming out for PS4, Switch, and PC because fuck the Xbox One apparently.
Yeah, fuck the Xbox, dude.
This one is actually kind of exciting for a lot of people. Ace Combat 7: Skies Unknown is coming out on PS4 and Xbox One on the 18th of January here. Have you ever messed or heard of Ace Combat game?
Nope. I'm looking it up now.
It's a fantastic, I wouldn't go as far as say flight simulator, but in badass jet planes just having dogfights in the sky.
That's pretty cool.
My other friend Nick, he is deeply in love in these kind of games, and amazingly enough, it has a pretty good story. I mean, if you're just sitting there flying around and you need somebody to talk with you while you take 30 seconds to engage the enemy, right. But I mean, they go much further than that, and having a fight with hundreds of planes in the sky.
What could go wrong?
What can go wrong? I mean, a lot can go wrong. It just feels like an aerial version of like Hyrule Warriors, any Warriors game, except it's jet planes fighting hundreds of other jet planes. Last but not least, on the same day, the 18th, which I believe is Friday, pardon me, is Travis Strikes Again. No More Heroes coming out on Switch. Now, I do believe, I don't remember if Travis Strikes Again. I know No More Heroes came out for the Wii, so I don't know what this whole Travis Strikes Again, or if it's just what their rename is for the Switch port. Now, it's weird, Nick. A lot of the ports have been coming from the Wii U, so it's weird that something is coming from the Switch technically, or I don't know, man. This is weird. Seeing a Wii game come to the Switch instead of a Wii U. What's going on here? Is this a sign?
There's a bunch of other games announced recently for the Switch
that came out from the Wii.
No, I didn't. I have no idea. I'm just saying. Over the last week, I've been seeing a lot of Switch games announced. I'm pretty sure Dragon Age got announced. Maybe.
Like, what's Dragon Age? Like the new Dragon Age, or
I think so.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Maybe. I'm trying to find it. I can't remember. I can't remember what I saw, and I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. I think Tyler would get a kick out of that, and now I can't find them because I forgot to save things.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's a hella good RPG though. Inquisition. I had a good time with it, being a blood mage and all that stuff.
I think it might have been Dragon Age Inquisition.
So, just trailing back in Kingdom Hearts here. If Kingdom Hearts 3 came out on the Switch, and that's and the PS4 and Xbox One, but not PC, would you get it on the Switch? Would you play it on the Switch?
I'd consider it, maybe. It's just honestly, there's never been anything about the game that's ever interested me.
And I bet your punk ass would still buy it over fucking Zelda at this point. I'm salty about that. I can't believe you bought Octopath Traveler over Breath of the Wild, Nick. Shame this man, people.
What? I don't know what you want me to say.
Shame.
I'm a little bit.
You feel attacked?
Just a little bit. I'm just trying to have a good time. I'm just trying to play games on the Switch, and then you're attacking me.
I'm in danger. Nick, this day of in gaming, what happened this year, or not this year? Who cares about this year?
I was looking through the list that you put down here, and then I looked through the actual list, and I'm like, the one game that I wanted to talk about is on here. So starting from the top, This day in gaming, January 14th, 2015. Slime Rancher came out on the PC. I've never played this game. You've talked a ton about this game. I believe Amanda loves this game.
Yes, Slime Rancher came out on this day 4 years ago, and Amanda has been playing a lot of it for quite a few years. And a couple of amazing things about this: A, it's simple but very fun, and B, it won't fucking lower itself in price. It stayed at full price, never gone on sale for all these 4 years. It's driving me fucking crazy. So now here's that. I think I tried pitching this game to Cam when he was like, "I want to buy $100 worth of Steam games. Convince me."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. What's the next one though?
We've got Mirror's Edge that came out on PC 2009 as well. This was a beautiful game. I remember watching gameplay of it. I've never actually played it, but it is quite. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could see that.
It was really beautiful for the time.
I agree. I do believe it looked a little bit better than what it did when it came out on the PS3 and 360, which it came out like 3 months earlier. But I mean, you know, I feel like anything when it comes onto the PC if ported right will always look better.
Oh yeah,
by 100%. Like hell, Breath of the Wild, if you wanted to emulate it on a Wii U emulator on the PC, can be modded to look even better than the Switch version, as it turns out.
I don't know. I've never heard of that game, Tyler.
Okay. You mean game or console? Because you're going in the wrong direction. You already fucked me over with Kingdom Hearts. Listen.
Breath of the Wild wasn't on sale. Breath of the Wild wasn't on sale. Octopath was.
Watch out. Watch out. Listen. Fucking fight you. I'll fight you. I learned a couple interesting things.
I looked all over the place for a copy of Breath of the Wild on discount, a copy of Octopath on discount, physical copies. Couldn't find either. And then the Switch store had the New Year's sale where Octopath was on sale, but Breath of the Wild wasn't. If Breath of the Wild was on sale, I would have picked it up. But Octopath was, and Breath of the Wild wasn't, so I picked up Octopath because it was cheaper.
Let me ask you 2 questions then. Actually, no, I'll keep it the one. I'll simplify just for you, my friend. I would like to think that Octopath is a good, if not great game. It did get lowered in price over time. Why the fuck do you think Zelda's price has not gone down?
I'm not disputing anything. I'm just saying during standard seasons, shopping seasons, when sales are a norm, and it didn't happen, and I was looking for a good deal, I found Octopath.
Do you know what the words 2017 Game of the Year means? It means it won't drop in price, Nick.
Do you know what the word suck my dick means?
Woo! Damn!
But by that logic, Witcher 3 also won Game of the Year, but it's dropped in price plenty, so...
Yeah, it's also... I guess I should stipulate that it's also Nintendo, and Nintendo doesn't like dropping the price on their first party games unless it like bailed bad. Look at ARMS, for $30 right now. If ARMS sold like 20,000 more copies, it would stay at 60 strong.
And for some fucking reason, Splatoon 2 is also still like full price.
Yeah, I have not seen Splatoon 2 go down under $40. Yeah, I think even on a Black Friday sale. It is immortal. Like, I think I got Splatoon 1 back in like 2016. I got Splatoon 1 for the Wii U. I had a Black Friday sale, I think, for $30. Like, that's how low it was willing to go.
I'm at the point now where I'm scouring Craigslist for deals on Breath of the Wild for something that's even just marginally cheaper, because it is a lot. It is 85 Canadian dollars after tax.
Nick, am I gonna have to send back the money you paid for your half of the song?
No, I'm fine I'm fine for the month. There's a reason I picked up Octopath, Tyler. It's because I could afford it this month.
Okay, Nick. Okay, you're hurting me, man. Breaking my balls. All right, so Burnout 3 Takedown came out on the 360 in 2008.
I love this game. Burnout 3 Takedown was it was a beautiful experience. Combat racing game. You just crash into shit, go fast, eat ass. I love it.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. The only Burnout game I played was Paradise, so I have no idea if
The previous ones were much better. Paradise was all right, but Burnout 3 Takedown and Burnout Revenge were some of the best games that they ever put out.
And considering it came out for the 360, that probably would have been the first time that game came out. Then just how it works usually with those kind of games. But these next ones, 2008 was a big day for a couple of companies. Like, oof, big.
Oh, yeah, that is big. Wow.
Yeah. So I'll take the first one if you don't mind. Toy Headquarters, also known as THQ, acquired a company called Big Huge Games back in 2008. Now, obviously, this is a bit ironic because we know THQ just eventually just crumples and falls down, despite trying to pull a bunch of games. And Big Huge Games, the only game that came out was called Dominations, which it came out on iTunes. So I don't know what the big idea was with that, but it worked, I guess. Maybe. Well, no, they crashed and burnt to the ground, so I guess it didn't work out. Oh well. And another big company made a wild purchase.
This was Ubisoft Nagoya.
Yes.
Ubisoft Nagoya was acquired by Ubisoft Entertainment.
Yes, before that, they were called Digital Kids Company. Then they got bought up by Ubisoft and got turned into Ubisoft Nagoya as their Japan base.
Oh, I see.
Which,
okay.
The company is known for games like Pets. Like imagine the 3DS games Pets. Yep. So anything that involved animals that was cute and it had a Z at the end of the name. So pets, cats, pets, dogs, and shit like that. Now, it's not the same exact thing, mind you, but goddamn. But hey, Pets got turned into Ubisoft, and Ubisoft did not crash and burn to the ground, even though they did this on the same exact day and year. So somebody did something right.
Somebody did something right. I'd like to imagine that in terms of scumminess, we'd have EA, Activision, Bethesda, and then Ubisoft. I feel like that's a fair ranking.
Wait, are you trying to put Ubisoft on the fuckover ranks?
Yes.
Really? Is there any situation that you want to example?
No, their symbol looks like poo.
Oh, okay, fine,
yeah,
fair enough.
That's it. That was my only reasoning.
Ubisoft does like to do a lot of land grabbing in terms of the game company region. So there's always the possibility that they might, do some similar things that are a bit shady or just underhanded in general and how they handle things.
Also, I believe that Ubisoft is popular for using inclusivity as a way to take away from all the stupid shit that they've done. I can't remember any specific examples, but then they'll do something stupid or say something they're not supposed to have said, and then they'll make this, inclusive advertisement or game or whatever. They'll take away from that and make people forget for a little bit. But yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. These last three, Nick, are pretty big hits right here.
They're well before my time, Tyler. It's your turn, old man.
Okay, only one of them is. I was less than a year old, Nick. Coming out on the Game Boy in Japan, 1992. We have Q*bert. Q*bert, the old arcade.
Sounds familiar.
It's like a. I don't know how to describe it. It's a little, I think, an orange figure with a weird suction cup looking mouth motherfucker. I imagine him being the original rendition of Birdo from Mario. Wait, do you not know what Q*bert looks like?
I just Googled. It's an interesting character design.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to remember what game I watched or movie. What is the movie with Adam Sandler in it? Is it called Pixel or something like that?
Actually, I think you might be right.
And I do believe Q*bert was in that, so I think that's what's throwing me off here. And just seeing that Pixels, sorry.
And he is on the cover art for the movie.
Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I have not. It looked god awful in the trailer, and I've heard god awful things about it.
Everybody trash talked it, and I liked it. It's so weird. I think it's just it was corny.
No, here's my thing for movies. People are always so quick to like either hate or like it, and I think people go into it with certain expectations. With movies, I try to go in with no expectations and just want to be entertained.
I think I walked in with no expectations, and it came out to me as a 6.57 out of 10 kind of movie, where it's not like, this is, get some popcorn and maybe a beer and you'll have a good laugh kind of movie.
I mean, it just seems like a movie that I'd be entertained by because it's got Peter Dinklage, Kevin James, Adam Sandler, Josh Gad, and Michelle. I can't even say her last name. Monaghan.
Monaghan, yeah.
I guess so.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Fucking
anyways.
Kevin James, man. Also, Peter Dinklage and Adam Sandler, sure, I guess.
Sure.
It's so weird. Looking at the cover art for Pixels right now, Adam Sandler does not look like the would-be protagonist of any movie with that should not have a gun of like
Adam Sandler is the true like oh, you just moved here, little boy. Now you have to wield this sword and save the world. He's like the classic like this normal looking boy is all of a sudden, the only person who can stop the evil god from destroying us all.
Adam Sandler with the video game gun seems out of place to me, but if you were to put a sword and shield on him, I feel like he would look a lot more natural.
Didn't he do Your Highness?
Did he? Is this a fucking movie podcast now? What's going on here? Jesus.
No, that was James Franco. Never mind. But I think he would have fit into Your Highness.
You compared James Franco to fucking Adam Sandler?
No, the main character, his name is Danny McBride. But this is the movie that I remembered that I feel like he would fit in here. But it was a satire movie as well. But anyways, moving on. So after Q*bert, these are games of great importance. This next game is of great importance to Tyler. We've got Zelda 2 that came out on the NES and Famicom on this day in gaming, January 14th, 1987.
Now, specifically, I want to state that I do believe it came out specifically for the Famicom, but I just want to clarify that it's the Japanese NES, the original system, the Homeboy console. Not the Soldier Boy home console, but
not the Soldier Boy. Nothing will ever be as good as the Soldier Boy. And then yes.
Important question.
Yes.
Let's put a 16-year-old you in a room with a nice TV. I'm going to put an NES with any game you want to play there. I'm going to put the Soldier Boy console. We're next to each other. They work and play just fine on the TV. Which one do you think you would enjoy more?
Soldier Boy.
I feel like it's scary because it's like I feel like it's sad that you can contend that a $50 NES classic could easily beat the $200 Soldier Boy console that no longer can be produced. But yeah, imagine if that thing went back in time. That's how Nintendo got their powers.
It's purely because it's a meme. I would have picked it and because it's a fun look at this dumbass thing. How did anybody ever let this happen? And I would play it purely because of that.
Wait, not to tug on my own horn, but I think I just solved the circle. Soldier Boy sent his console back in time. Nintendo saw it. Japan's copyright laws were kind of iffy with America at the time, so they took it and then made that Mario game their game, and they infringed on the copyrights of Soldier Boy from the future, and henceforth created this everlasting circle of copyright suits.
And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming to another episode.
And also, tennis came out on the Famicom this day in gaming, and
that's a dangerous theory, Tyler.
Why? Because I'm going to bring Soldier Boy in time travel? Look, if Kingdom Hearts can do the shit, so can I, okay?
That's fair, yeah.
That is fair. Dream Drop Distance is a bunch of... I mean, it's a good game, but it's also a shortened what the fuck is happening game. Time travel... The moment you introduce time... space travel, I understand. They're doing that already with Portals of Darkness and all that stuff, and it's fucking Kingdom Hearts. They travel between worlds. But now that they introduce time travel... Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
The issue with time travel is when they use time travel as a solution, as an easy solution to all the problems. I don't think, for story-wise, you should ever have something like that. Obviously, it depends on the context, situation, but it just makes things all the more needlessly complicated by just fixing things so easily and providing an easy solution. But anyways.
I agree. As Nick was saying, we should probably be wrapping up over here. Nick, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LRWarrior11, and you can find me on twitch.tv/LRWarrior11. Yeah, Tyler, where could the people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at 2timestyler. Or maybe someday I'll be on twitch.tv/2timestyler. Or you can find me on the Pixelmon Spark or Pixel Spark server for generations as a new moderator, also known as 2timestyler. You should play it. Nick.
Nice.
And listeners. Just saying. Anyways, you can also find us on Twitter. Our podcast is going to be at Master Quest Pod because Casual Master Quest didn't fit. I hate the word pod, but I wanted to be trendy. Or you can email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com with your thoughts, comments, concerns, love letters, death threats, whatever you want.
We just want friends.
Let's say, as long as it doesn't infringe on our legal team, we will read it out, pretty much. Let's be real. Because right now, apparently, for whatever reason, the only thing that's been really sending emails to us has been Weather Underground. For some reason, Weather Underground has been trying to give me a forecast. I don't even know where to. It's just letting me know that tomorrow. Oh, that's 2018 for November 29th. I have no idea why it's telling me what the.
It's just worried about you. It wants to make sure that you're safe.
Yeah, I guess. But I get to know where the weather is every single time. But
talked about icy roads that one time, and now you're getting under weather forecast. Suspicious.
Super sus.
I think not.
Yep. All right, man. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. That was Nick. I was Tyler. Oh, I'm still Tyler. I hope. That was episode number 35 of Casual Master Quest. I hope you loved your fill of Kingdom Hearts, Destiny talk, card games, all the good stuff. Maybe a little Q*bert, a little Adam Sandler, Billy Zane. Man, this is a movie-heavy podcast. So don't forget. Now, I'm not going to say the catchphrase. Don't worry. I'm going to hold it up here. Don't forget to watch Pixels because it's an okay movie. And don't forget to pay your respects to Billy Zane. And also, don't forget to never stop the grind. We'll see you guys next week.
Bungie is free!
Ah!